you all to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
If you recently submitted a claim to the National Insurance Corporation, you also need to submit your financial account information to get paid. All NIC benefit claims are now paid conveniently through your local financial institution. To provide your bank or credit union account information, simply log on to the NIC website at www.stlucianic.org. Click the Financial Account Information tab and fill out the form. It's that easy. You only submit once. Ensure you enter the details of an open, active account in your name. If you do not have access to the internet, visit any NIC office to collect the financial account information form. Help us to help you. NIC, for the benefit of us all.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Thank you so much, everyone, for once again tuning into and staying with The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer of this program, which airs weekdays from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on Real FM, the radio station that serves you on the dual frequencies of 91.3 for those of you in the north and 91.5 in the south, simultaneously We also come to you on MBC Television, channel 120 on the Flow Cable TV service. We are on Facebook Live and streaming live on YouTube as well. I hope you're having a good day so far as always, and that you're looking forward to the remainder of it being just as well, as we say. But a large part of that will depend on you, how you interact with others in the country. And I continue to beg you, good people who have your heads screwed about you, public-spirited citizens, patriots, and so on, do not flow with the tide. Do not become weary in doing well. I think that's a passage from the New Testament, an admonition from the Apostle Paul to one of the churches, to not become weary in doing well. Do not become tired and frustrated and exasperated in being a good person. Even if you don't see the rewards of it, even if you see everybody heading down the path, flowing with the river or the ravine or the flood, whatever, of badness and aggression and evil, because it seems like people, if they have a choice between doing something good and doing something evil, you find many of them is almost always the choice of the evil thing is what? When it is done so much that it seems to be the fashion, it seems to be the trend, it seems to be the way that everybody is going, it seems to be the way, if you want to be respected, you got to be a tough person, and so you go down the path of the violence and the aggression and all the other things where people believe to get by in life, they have to be dishonest, they have to steal, whether from their employer, whether from the state, whether from public resources or whatever and so on, and they say that, so everybody looking to make themselves, I'm making myself. Do not flow with the tide of evil. If your mind is telling you to do otherwise, don't do it because everybody else is doing it. In time, you are going to reap the rewards of your commitment to doing what is lawful, what is right, what is good, what is kind, what is compassionate. Let me tell you something about goodness. And I didn't always think that way, But I'm happy, that with advancing age and experience and so on, that, certain things, you can believe something, according to your system of beliefs and profession. But for it to really sink in is a different matter. Goodness is its own reward. You don't have to look for whether it will bring you money. You don't have to look for whether it will give you recognition. You don't have to look for whether it will give you medals, whether you'll be nominated for a St. Lucia National Honor, the St. Lucia Medal of Merit, whatever. You don't have to look for those things. Goodness is its own reward. Sometimes you cannot see what is the reward. Sometimes the reward is quiet. Sometimes the reward is intangible. It is imperceptible. It is something that is happening inside of you. You are reprogramming. You are rewiring yourself for some things that will bring you what many people lack in their lives. And that thing is peace. Let me tell you, see this thing called peace? A lot of people don't have it, They have a lot of money. They have everything to be set for life. They have their insurances taken care of. They have, and they feel all is nice and dandy until one day they don't have peace. Inside they're fearful. They have panic attacks. They are uneasy. Little things trouble them. And you know what this lack of peace does? It drives them sometimes to an earlier grave than they might have gone, because they're always in that state of turmoil inside. Sometimes the only reward you get, and it's a gigantic reward, it surpasses many others, it is the reward of peace. When I'm at my home sometimes and I hear ambulance or police sirens going up and down, it's all in the last few years, I reflect. Shelton, you hear all those police sirens, everything, and you're there and you're quiet, and then I realize why. Because I have a great assurance it's not for me they're coming. It's not me the police coming for. Because I know I ain't involved. I see police. I'm never jittery. I'm never looking over my shoulder. Now somebody can watch me and shoot me, just like that. It might be a stray bullet. It might be deliberate. It might be mistaken identity. But for all the things that are happening, I'm never in that fear and panic that somebody will do me something. You know why? Evil thinketh as evil doeth, and the wicked flees when no one pursues. When you know you've done something to somebody or to people, when you know you steal, when you know, because we never know those killings, what they are, people who get things stolen and they don't have any faith in the justice system, or it is the stealing of something they can't go and report, whether it's their weed or their coke or whatever, so they have to administer justice. It's such a nice thing to have peace, that you don't have to be panicky and jittery that this police that you see is you they're coming for and so on, because you know you're not involved in anything like that. Somebody might still jump me. Somebody might still come on the road and believe I have something valuable in the backpack. Recently, a co-worker jokingly said, "What do you have in that backpack that you always carrying?" I said, "Okay, you want to see?" I unzipped it and I emptied all the contents, you know, show that this is my bottle of hand sanitizer, this is my deodorant over there, this is my this for that, this is whatever. Show that everything. A couple others gathered around and they had quite a laugh, because I don't have anything in my bag that if any time the police stop and ask to search, that I would have any fear that they will find anything that is not supposed to be inside there. This is what having peace, obeying the law, doing the right thing, on the road, how you drive, whatever and so on. Folks, try it, Peace is such a valuable thing to have. And many of us don't have it, not because anybody has taken it away from us, but because we are taking it away from ourselves. There just seems to be something in our country, especially the young people, is always, the path of malice, the path of spite, the path of breaking the law, the path of doing something that lands them, on the bad side. And I keep wondering, what is the allure of those things? What is the enticement of those things? Until I remembered again a passage in Genesis. The inclination of the man, of the heart of man, is bad from his youth up, and the thoughts of his heart are only evil continually. If we don't make interventions to train our children well, to raise them up properly, the general trend and the tide and the flow of society is towards badness, it's towards criminality. Don't ever take for granted that it's just going. You have to make a concerted effort to train and to discipline and to nurture them in the right way. If there is no intervention, the heart of man invariably follows evil and badness and crime and wickedness. That's what it follows and so on. Or if all those new age people who come and tell you, whether it's yoga or transcendental meditation, that there is an unchangeably good part at the core of our nature, of our being, and it is really the imposition or the superimposition of the evil distortions of life that corrupt us and that change us. But we like an onion. If you peel away the layers and so on, there is a core inside there that is always perfect, that is always good. And what we need to do is to get back in touch with it, with some chants and some meditations and some, ums and is and eyes. I don't even remember what they are. And some breathing exercises that will reattune us to that core of the being. My friend, Sapavwe. This kind of things where they glorify that there is some, pristine part of man that is inside, and when you peel away all the layers of the onion skin and so on, you will come to that core. At the core of us is an evil thing. From the time we are born, even conceived, it is there. We have to take the interventions. In my case, I believe the intervention is a savior called Jesus Christ. You may not believe it, but don't trust in inside of you that there is some goodness that is there, and you just need to smoke some weed so that in your meditation you can get into it. It turns the responsibility and the direction of your redemption and salvation inward into yourself, that this is where godhood and godliness resides and so on, so that you try to find liberation of self in self. I do not know how, slavery can emancipate slavery if there is not something from outside that can. But I'm not Pastor Ben. I'm not whoever else it is that brings those messages to you. I'm just telling you that in our society, we need to go back to some basics of what we were brought up in. At a time where things were never perfect. People were always chopping people and doing this sort of thing. But we have to go back to a time, to some basics of raising our children and how we relate to one another, and the sense of community that we had, the sense of mutual support, of helping one another, of thinking first how we can help one another before we think of how we can fly somebody's head and fly somebody's arm and fly somebody's leg and do this sort of thing. We have to go back to those things where we find value in goodness. And sometimes I'm saying, I don't want to preach to you any particular religion. Sometimes the greatest value we can find is the value of peace. Because many of us, we don't have it in us. We don't experience it around us. We can't share it with people. Even when there is peace, Rather than us embracing the peace because we are so in turmoil inside, the peace offends us. The peace affronts us. The peace disturbs us. So we have to do something to mess it up. Some people just can't see other people enjoying themselves. They can't go and see a nice football game and, people are just cheering and clapping or whatever it is. They have to leave some labu at some time to throw a bottle or whatever. They can't go to a dance and see people just dancing and enjoying their Western, whatever it is. It disturbs them because they are troubled. They have to do something to break the dance. They have to do something to hurt somebody. They must do it because inside of them is where the problem is. They are disturbed and they are troubled and they just cannot relax. They just cannot enjoy life and have peace in it. They can't see other people. And that's what I'm telling you. Not because you see people don't care about the environment for you to do it. Sometimes even that is a sign of what is going on inside those people. They can't bear to see a clean place. They can't bear to see an orderly place. They can't bear to see a place where you breathe in the air and you enjoy it because it is good. They have to foul it up. They have to mess it up. They have to make it look like how they feel themselves to be inside, to be cluttered, to be dirty, to be chaotic and so on. That's the way they are. And so they want to remake all of them in their own image and likeness. The dirt, the filth, tout bagay, chocolate block, tout bagay, debouline. That's how they can survive, because anything that shows them something different that is in contrast to their own inner selves, they cannot bear it. So let me tell you this. You who don't have the problems of inner peace in you, do not contribute to troubled people. Do not add to them. Do not be part of their army. Do not be part of their force, of their side and so on, for you also to be joining in because tutlot mungafe. If you have a different mind, it's because you have a different calling. It's because you are of a different make. It's because you are a different construct. Leave that make, that calling and that construct and stop dirtying the place. Stop contributing to crime. Stop contributing to the madness and chaos on the roads. Pick up yourselves as people who understand your mission and your calling to be different. That is true patriotism. Practice it without fear and without shame. The sad thing in our country is that the people who ought to be afraid and ashamed, they are the ones who are resolute and brazen and bold and so on. And the people who ought to be holding their heads up, it's not bad to be modest, because, for you to big up your chest, I know I'm a good person. Whoever proclaims themselves good probably isn't, What I'm saying is that too many of the good people of this country are having their heads down. They're afraid to stand up, even to do what is right. They want to go along. They're afraid of people will be vexed with them. They're afraid that people will hate them. So they don't stand up for the principle of what is right, saying it is right, speaking the truth about what they saw when called upon to give eyewitness testimony, and leaving their safety, whatever, to the Most High, who honors, this kind of behavior of good people and so on. To stop thinking you have to compromise and go with the flow for people to like you and to be accepted and so on. Stop this kind of vulnerability. Stand up in the country. And I don't mean to go and tackle anybody or play your hand in anybody's face or gouge at anybody or grab anybody by the throat. That's not what. Standing up means simply following your own quiet, purposeful, and determined commitment to what is right, to not joining in the tide and the trend and the flow of badness. Stop being ashamed of being a good person. Stop being ashamed of being a law-abiding person. Stop being ashamed of being a decent, community minded, public-spirited person. Stop being ashamed of being a patriot. I need not tell you about being a Christian, because I know not everybody is, not everybody wants to talk about it. But if you are, don't be ashamed of being a Christian, to stand up, to practice for it. As the Apostle Paul said, I think it was to the Romans, I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God to salvation to everyone who believes. If that is your belief, Like it says in another part, I think it's Hebrews, Bernard Haynes, you'll tell me all about it. Hold fast the confession of your faith without wavering. We're in the season of Advent, Christmas, National Day, all this kind of thing. Hold fast to the principles that you believe in. Hold fast to the virtues. Hold fast to what you believe is integrity and stand on it, and stop letting the popular tide and the popular trends kimun kikai wime, kimun kikai tuneme wizib, kimun kikai papi showme, because of what you say. Hold fast to those things, and don't be ashamed of them. The people who should be ashamed and afraid are the criminals. The people who should be ashamed and afraid are the polluters, the bubblists, the people who are stealing from their employers all the time, carrying things from the workplace. Sometimes they work on somebody's farm. The person has to pay them. Before the Friday come, they don't get their money. Their cutlass gleaming and so on, like they want to hash somebody. But the person have their oranges. You full in your bag with it every time. They can't get one to sell to make some money. When Christmas, you cussing for bonus they don't give you and so on. But you are bringing the business down. And I don't care whether the business is Massey, whether the business is some other small local concern community or whatever. You have no right to be helping yourself to the property of another person that they did not give you without your permission. People who are at workplaces, they can't keep paper in the toilet. They're carrying away the rolls of toilet paper. In fact, they seem to be watching the attendant or the cleaner. The moment they put it, it disappears. They put it in their bag and they're gone. The soap, the moment they unwrap it, it's gone already. They're doing all this kind of low down things and so on. This despicable things. This, things that are really low class, day class, say things and so on. Like, you believe some of them is above soap, they cannot. But this is the kind of sabotage that they're carrying on all the time. And when Christmas, they want to scream about bonus and they're not giving us bonus and this kind of thing. People, let's make a bigger commitment. You don't have to do with government. You don't have to do with UWP or SLP. You don't have to do with Chasney or Philip J. Pierre. Too often our minds are just too far up the bottom of in our thinking of whether it is Trump or whether it is Biden or whether it is Pip or whether it is Chasney or whether it is this or whether it is that. Many times we become obsessed with these things simply as an excuse, simply as a diversion, simply as a smokescreen from looking at our own selves and having attention paid to us. I'm saying all the different issues that we have with history and slavery and reparations and colonization, that they have no validity. From following me over the years, you know that. I just find too often we use a constant harking and harping on those things as a means to avoid taking a good look at our own selves. A lot of times there's a lot of wrong in the society, a lot of evil. Yes, bad government, maladministration may have contributed to it and so on. But there was a time we didn't even have those roads. It's little paths we have, T-shirt cut and so on, but people came together in a kudme, made up their minds that we're going to do something about this drain because it's our children who have to pass it. We're going to do this about that. We're going to help to solve it and so on. Even if it was to draft a petition when it reached a point where it was too much, they couldn't build a bridge, they would sit down and go around and put a petition calling on the government, say we have done so much, but this little passage of a bridge and so on, XYZ, ABC, we need help with it or whatever it is. A lot of times they would go around and make collections. I'm not saying every big project or that we should let government off the hook. What I'm saying is that the problems that we always want to blame on government and a politician and you gotta talk to people who's not a politics, I remember my first stint in Antigua when I came back here, I said, but wait, is it that I've become so dishabituated with the country? Everybody who meet me welcoming me back, they honor talk about, boy, I think Kenny go pay for that in the next elections, and so and this and that, and I think the government should step in there, and I listened, I said, what? I met a chap by the Castres Market along Jeremy Street, and oh boy, I wanted the conversation to end. I went up to Grozilia and it's like, it's a government and the government must do this and the government that and the government. And I'm saying, well, wait. It's not even 2 years SLP is back in office and I'm hearing this continuous thing. Everybody believes every little drain to the canal qui n'est pour lever, c'est gouvernement qui n'est pour faire, and I'm saying, okay. When did we get to be like that? And then I realized we had just come out of a period of contracts mania. There was this thing about small contracts. You get the money from the Taiwanese, you break it up. Instead of giving one big contractor, you give how many people? Several small contracts, and nothing wrong with that, you know. But it's like people, everything, it was a contract, they were expecting to do it. One guy told me an experience of an area that I am from and lived in. He said he saw a drain where some coconut branches had fallen into it and it was clogged and the water was coming on the road. So he took his cutlass, as we grew up doing. You know, you plant the banana fall, you know, you chop it up, whatever you can salvage from it and so on. You know, you won't take it to the boxing plant and so on, but that's food for you, for your livestock, your, you know, etc. And he was there. He didn't say, "Moi, like a ton say bush coco bagay pour débarrer canal là." And this man comes up and tells him, "Leave that alone. Don't do what he's doing there." Why? Because he had already applied for a contract to do those drains and to do whatever, and what he's doing there will affect his getting his contract. The man wants him to stop acting like the community-minded, public-spirited person that he is, because that will affect. And then I said, okay, that's it, you know, this contracts mania. And I wonder whether we got value for those small contracts. You know, no, it's not a good thing. You know, you give a man a job for 5,000 to do whatever. He needs to take 2 other people to help him so he can finish it in time, whatever. By the time he pays them, by the time the material that he gets to do whatever little concrete, you know, head wall or whatever he has to do and so on. I wonder how much money he had left. And I think they used to tax them at that time. Is this Labour government that came in and that said, any contract less than 10,000, we're not taxing you on it. And how long you have to take to get that money. I wondered about the quality of the work. How many of the people who were given things where they had to do concrete things, how many of them had any skill, any expertise? They would probably have to hire a mason. How much the mason would charge them that they would have to pay out of this small contract? Who certifies that it is done, that when you have a flood or whatever it is, that this thing isn't going to topple and fall on somebody or wreck somebody's, you know, the underside of somebody's car and so on. You know, you want to help everybody, you want to bring everybody in. What is the quality of the work that you are getting? We have to think of all those things. One thing to help people. But anyway, I'm going to open the phone lines very soon. We're almost at 1 o'clock anyway. I will just say this, folks. I won't throw in anybody's face the very common and very true saying that you cannot make omelets without breaking eggs. I say it myself very often. And so the people who have to traverse the West Coast Road, given the condition, and we were warned about the condition, that it is going to be a rough patch. Expect open trenches, expect single lane traffic, expect a lot of equipment and work crews on the road and sharp bends and so on. Be careful. I mean, the notice was put out. We're told about that. Of course, I'm unhappy that it is happening, as I am unhappy that the Forever Road, that was once the Millennium Highway, the Forever Road has reached December, Christmas season, and they're still struggling to fix it. And the part that they seem to be the last significant stretch to do is bordering with or reaching up to the Banana Roundabout. And that is also causing now problems in the other route, which is supposed to be an escape route from Millennium Highway, the Mon Latok, road coming down to the Tapion Junction and so on. And Tapion is a busy place. Let's face it, there's a hospital there. There's medical facilities, there's police thing and all of that, that you have to think of. Tapion is a busy place, fairly. And now it has to join into that, into the Latok flow, into the Banana Roundabout, go into Furasho, and then you have this thing of the Forever Road. And then for you to have another major stretch of road that is going to undergo major works of rehabilitation, starting at this time of the year, going into December, is like, I don't know. Sorti an dan yon nou ka tombe an dan lot. You come out of Millennium Highway, the crawl and the snail space of diverting to the Mon, which is a steep climb to go up, and another steep one to come down into the cul-de-sac valley to join the roundabout and the bridge, which is now okay, but my goodness me. Can you imagine? It's like the free flow of traffic is impeded. The very terrain of the Mon, which Millennium Highway was supposed to help people to avoid and so on. Most of them have to go through because they don't want to go there. Next thing they find themselves on a traffic stop, as I told you I found the other day in the first tunnel coming from town. Until I had to turn back, do a 3-point turn across the road and go. Too much. And then maybe when the same people come out of that, for them, you know, from cul-de-sac to go to Soufre, whatever they have to encounter, you know. I mean, don't tell them about omelets. They know. That's why I agree with Deputy Prime Minister Ernest Hilaire. He's spoken to the contractor or whoever and told them, look, whatever, you know, do something. Some little relief. Even if it's some pumice or quarry waste or whatever we call it for the time being that you put. Because we all know how roads are. When you have a prolonged period of dryness and then you have sudden onset, a lot of rain in a short period like we've had in the last couple of weeks, you know what happens? The little potholes and the little things and dings and so on, they begin to crumble and they begin to wear off and the holes get wide and deeper at such a rate that it surprises you. You see a little pothole now and you come and next thing is one big deep thing that's there. Especially the amount of traffic that's on it. Places where, you know, you would pass and so on, now the little film of dirt now becomes mud that you have to watch yourself. You can slide on that. You have to drive very, very slow. I mean, they even said in the notice they put out that people should prepare to drive at no more than 20 miles an hour, 20 kilometers an hour, whatever it is. That's slow. Of course, I think our roads supposed to be 30 mile an hour speed limit, but, you know, I mean, that's quite a crawl when you're coming from all the way Soufre and you have to go across a place that has so many sharp bends and steep inclines and declines and going down steep hills and steeper ones and, you know, the Tunepala, you make one mistake and you're gone, you know. In so many places, of course, they've done a good job with the barriers and you know, the retaining walls and so on. But, you know, it's not a construction thing. So I can understand the frustration, but I listened to a news item which alluded to the situation on the West Coast Road as the neglect of the roads. It mentioned that. And I said to myself, why is this being referred to as neglect? When at this very time what is happening there is a repair, is a rehabilitation, is a resurfacing, is a refixing, rebuilding, restoration, revival of the road. After so long, and this is what I find that this government is unfortunately on the receiving end of. Every time they try to solve, or they do solve, embark on solving a problem, there are people who are making it sound like the problem began with them, they are the cause of the problem originated with them, they are exacerbating the problem. And the PR people of the government have to be on that. Don't become tired. Say the same thing if you have to. That this project came about as a result and is part of the Prime Minister's plan for a year of infrastructure, which was delayed by rain, etc. Now, you can't PR your way out of things because people are experiencing real frustration and delay, whatever. So I agree with the appeal to Namalco. Whatever you can do, it's understood, but I'm just sad that this thing is coming at this time of the year, which is probably when they see a little break in the clouds, in the rain and so on. It is happening in the Christmas season, in December. That is the time when you have the most traffic, when people want to feel relaxed, when people want to make a trip to Soufre, a picnic, to stop somewhere by Canaries and this kind of thing. And I don't know, you know, the frustration of the road, we understand how they'll feel. But then you got to do what you got to do. However, I will again say that I think people would not be so upset if they had to endure what they have to endure from cul-de-sac to wherever, to Soufre, as part of the road, if they did not also at the same time have to be dealing with the bottleneck, the frustration, the non-stop dragging on of the Forever Road, which was once upon a time known as the Millennium Highway. Lord knows if this thing will not go into next year. Lord knows if next year we won't see them still struggling and slaving. Eka debat, eka lite ekoyo, we also finish Oshimesa. This is the real issues. Don't go away. When we come back, lines are open.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate help prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
You're listening to The Real Issues on this Thursday. It is the 5th day of the month of December, you see. My man's still in November because I can't believe those roads. I can't believe the Forever Road is still going on in December. Remember all the times they said that this is the completion date? Forever Road still going on in December. Next week Friday rolls around, you know what happened? National Day, December 13th. Our festivities and so on, we're supposed to be in that kind of mood and all of that. You know? The moment you see Millennium Highway, it just got you go. You know? So much less now when people have to deal with Millennium Highway. And at the same time, you know, you got a good piece of road coming out of Castries, the congestion and so on, and you moving good and so on. And now, you know, a lot of people think it's better, you know, to go up by Villa and Boacache and Old Mon Road than by Government House and whatever it is. And I even think there was work taking place there that you could only come from town passing the Old Mon Road, but when you're coming down, you know, the other lane, you know, going down there, block it off last time. It was probably different. I you know, some places I just basically try to avoid them and so on because too much. Sometimes if I just feel I need to clear my head and take a drive, I wait for nighttime and so on. You know, I don't do it, you know, in days when I know there's peak traffic. But of course, most of the places I might go to, businesses and so on, they close. We get in our first call, it seems. Let's take it. Good afternoon, Real Issues. Hello.
Hey, good afternoon.
Yeah, hi. How are you doing?
I'm good, Sheldon. How are you?
I'm okay.
Good afternoon to your viewers and listeners as well.
Yes.
Just two things, Shadow. The first one is that I had actually sent Yaya a text yesterday, but I didn't get a chance to expound and explain. Right? It was during his discussion about the cost of goods, at the supermarket and everything. Well, not only supermarket, but talking about all retail chains and stores, on St. Lucia. But what I was trying to make understand is that I actually watched a documentary earlier this week, and it turns out that both due to climate change, of course, they're attributing it to, that both the Panama and Suez canals are drying up. So you know what that has caused. Now ships have to, the number of ships that used to have to go through there, they can't, at the same time. And also with that, they have to pre-book. And the pre-booking itself becomes costly for them. We're talking about tens of thousands to close to $100,000 in terms of pre-booking their, their lane and their space at those canals. So all these things, you look at the spillover effect of these things. You look at the fact that they have to now pay workers more. It costs them more fuel. It's longer days, longer times. It's now longer shipping time. All these things are factored now into the cost. Now the thing is, whether it be at the supermarkets or whether at the retail stores there right now, with COVID, we've seen the cost driven up following COVID, right? But also, a lot of the items, whether it be the raw materials or the items, the finished product themselves, at some point during the process, the supply chain process,
yes,
there's something, one of many more of those items have to be shipped through one of those passageways. So we're now seeing the effect of.
But as you were saying that, what came to my mind, this seems to be, on the surface, almost contradictory, that we're dealing with climate change, which is associated with sea level rise, right?
Right.
But the sea levels, in those canals is actually dropping,
It's dropping, yeah. Yeah,
So all the water
they're man-made, eh?
All the water that's ready to swallow up the Maldives and those kind of places and so
right, exactly.
It's actually lacking in those places.
They're man-made waterways, so they may not be as susceptible to what the natural, the natural waterways and oceans and these things may be susceptible to.
Yeah,
But then I think.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was saying these are things that we have to consider, and people like Bradley, he needs to tell his leader to chill, because he was the one who was Minister of Commerce who said that he trusts the word of the public servants. And that was when I questioned him about the 680, the so-called hidden 680 that the SLB government was profiting, on gas. He trusts the word of the public servants. So he needs to tell and all that needs to chill with all this nonsense about the cost of gas.
What's with Bradley these days, that Bradley is trying to make a Roro out of everything that they, programs of the government, that they're victimizing him and he's not getting. One time it is the water tanks.
But it seems like he treated his transmission.
But the water tanks they were given to the farmers. Bradley claims that in his constituency they only given Labour Party farmers and whatever water tanks. Now the latest I'm hearing is that Bradley is saying his supporters are being victimized in STEP for the short-term employment program, that they're not getting STEP work. And it's what's he on about for a guy who sat in the cabinet for at least 5 years? You understand, 5+, and the man sat there and had nothing to say or protest or do anything to intervene about what was done with the CDP. But Bradley's complaining about everything now.
Well, but first of all, if Bradley has a complaint, he should probably take it. Forget that. You know what I think happened to Bradley? My theory is that, he's succumbing to the pressure of being told that he's too quiet, or he's being too quiet and too passive. So you know how the white honorable can be a dictator of sorts. So he's probably putting some pressure on Bradley. But if I were Bradley, man, I enjoy my 2 pensions. You do your 2 terms, enjoy your bank pension, enjoy your government pension. Don't run again. Don't put yourself in that mess. But then
last night I was online and I was looking for, I can't remember what tool, looking for tools. You have so many different tool brands and for different things. And I'd never heard of a brand before, and when I'm scouring the web, I'm seeing that there's a brand called Allen Bradley, I'm not joking, Allen Bradley.
Allen Bradley, yeah.
You know about it?
Yeah, I know that.
Well, I quickly closed the page because I made sure there was no way I was going to put it in my online shopping cart and so on. I closed it there. Mamele si say Alan, Mamele say Alan Key, Mamele si say whatever it is. They be say Alan Bradley Key no Burnley, Ashley.
Listen, all Alan Key's work except the one we had from 2016 to 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, my brother. Well, have a good afternoon and to your viewers and listeners as well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. And earlier on, Miguel had sent a message saying not only the weather, but remember the drainage and retaining walls had to be started first, along with the digging and backfilling of certain roadsides. I think he's talking about the, the West Coast Road that Namalco is undertaking. We have another call on the line already. Hi, caller. Good afternoon. Real Issues. Hello.
Yes, hello, Mr. Daniel. How do you do?
I'm doing okay. Nice to hear your voice.
Okay, I'm good. I'm holding on.
What's the Fuedi doing you now?
Oh my God, we had some albinos on the ground, good amount. So we used to it.
That's how they call snow albinos. No. I'm asking you because do you know that there is a term in science, in meteorology, the science of weather, that describes the reflectivity of a surface, and the scientific name is the albedo of a surface. Okay. So that they're saying that when a ground is covered with snow, because of the whiteness, it's a measure of reflectivity. So it is more reflective when it is covered with snow than when it is covered with, say, desert sand. You understand? It has a higher albedo. So that's why I said, I wonder if I heard you right. If it was albedo you were saying. I'm saying, boy, Maria is a lot more scientific than I thought, Well, go ahead.
Well, Maria is not stupid in science. That was my best subject.
Okay. All right.
You understand?
Okay, so, my friend. Nice to hear that. And you really put that to use in agriculture.
The ground is paved.
Okay.
In white. Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you a question. That road that was supposed to have been built from the East Coast, from the valley down to Shock, was that built?
Was that? Say again.
There was a road that was been built from somewhere at Fodor down to Shock.
From Fodor to Shock.
Was that road built?
Oh no! I think you're talking about the what do you call it? The northwest whatever road project that was supposed to go through Debarra and Denry and Louvet and wherever. Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
yes.
But no, it was never built.
Oh man, let me say something to you. That would have been one hell of a break for people.
Honestly,
who have to go through that stress.
Mm-hmm.
Especially people going through Groseillet up to the north. You have no business in town.
Yeah.
Man, but let me say something to you. They just Amayu. We just have to do what we have to do. But it's one thing I want to tell St. Lucians. Bear patient with our government. Lania Shais just I want to see done now. It doesn't work that way. It's not a magic one. Avec nous de trois motifs. I did a party no. Depuis your passion, let us declare war. Excuse me? We do this. People, let's have courage. Let's wait and watch what is happening. PJP will never fail us. PJP does not share any DNA with Alan. Okay. He will not fail us. But I just want everybody to be patient and let's wait for what's coming. And it will be good.
Yeah.
Have a good day, Sheldon.
Thank you very much. Maria made an excellent point there, There are some people who believe that what they want or what they believe they're entitled to because they were supporters and they made that is more important. There's so many other people who want. You want some kind of post or you want some kind of job. Do you have a caller, Jaquan? Okay. You want some kind of post or you want some kind of contract or some kind of consultancy or diplomatic whatever thing. How many other people are qualified? How many other people want it? How many other people are pushing for it? Some people are behaving like they are the only ones who supported and so they must get this. But you must get it over somebody else, over so many other people. Why must you get it and not somebody else get it? Why must there be There can be only one police commissioner. There can be only one ambassador accredited to a particular place. There can be only so many diplomatic staff and so on. Some people behave that this is what, or they want a consultancy or something. They've done their time, they've retired, they're getting their pension, whatever, but they feel they're entitled. How does a prime minister or a cabinet or a minister juggle through all those wants and demands and entitlements and people who think that they must be able to parlay and to leverage their support into something like that without somebody not being disappointed? At some point, somebody will feel they should have gotten it. The other curious thing I find is, hey, your party wins the election. You in a job, which by all indications is a good job already. You getting a good salary, a good pay. And usually the private sector, I think, has so many more things in terms of pension plan, in terms of retirement benefits. There's so much sometimes that's better about it. The pay scales are very often higher than government and so on, depending on, which private sector enterprises that you associated with. So they already set, but they just have this feeling that they must assert some kind of entitlement in exchange for their political support. And so they're pressuring the government to create a post for them or make a post for them. And when, 2 days they come inside the government job, whatever, they're frustrated. Because it's not like when you're working in a private enterprise that you're working sometimes as part of a team where you can call upon this accountant and this person, and the whole governance structure is something you're more accustomed. If you come there, it's a whole bureaucratic thing with government you have to deal with. Yes, they come and they make you director of winter, whatever, this and so on, of winter season tourism and whatever. And you come there and you realize you're director in an office all by yourself. You don't have all the support staff that you thought, because the budgetary allocation for your office only covered your salary and maybe, a telephone and so on inside there. There is no photocopy machine. There is no this. You have to walk down the hall to go to some other place to photocopy something, etc., etc. And you begin to wake up to the realities of government and you begin to get frustrated. But even before it gets to that stage, why would you want to be in a job where you're okay, you're good and so on, but just because you supported them, you feel that they must create a position for you? And sometimes a position occupied by somebody who can have equal claim to being a supporter and doing what, but even if they don't, somebody who has already gathered knowledge, institutional knowledge about, the diplomatic mission and whatever, so they can handle things more smoothly and not be frustrating St. Lucians in whatever part of our diaspora that there is, whether it's in French Guiana, Cayenne, St. Lucians who live there for a long time, and then they have a diplomat who understands, who speaks French, who knows about the processing of their papers, but just somebody they will send there in order to reward them for political support, and then they cannot hit the ground running. They have to learn the ropes. Then you get endless complaints from St. Lucians in French Guiana that they're not getting their papers, long delays because you have an ambassador, a new one, who don't know what he or she is doing at that point. We have to understand those kinds of things. And some people are making noise and you tell yourself, but wait, isn't that person capable of making a bread, having some dough for themselves without wanting to be added to the government payroll and to put pressure on them? I think a lot of us, we need to wake up. We need to wake up. Jakwan, it's my understanding that a gentleman who is associated with the Chamber of Commerce is complaining that businesses or the business sector was not consulted on the minimum wage. I'd never heard that before, and I'm wondering why. I said so some time ago when some preschool people were complaining about, the effect minimum wage would have on them, the pay scales that they would have to pay people working in daycare and preschools and so on. And I was sympathetic. But I asked the question then, why now? Why after minimum wage has become a functional reality and is implemented? Where were those people? To me, minimum wage was talked about so much. Wasn't there a minimum wage commission that was supposed to be representative of different sectors, including employers? Are we talking about a different thing when we talk about employers and the business sector? When we talk about business sector, are we not talking about employers, federations, St. Lucia Chamber of Commerce, Small Business Association, those kinds of people? Are we now saying that the minimum wage commission was not representative of those interests? Well, let's hear from the individual, and I think his name before you put it on. I want to make sure that I get that name from what I'm seeing, and in fact from what I sent you, Jaquan. That his name is Mr. Ross Gardner, and he's the president of the St. Lucia Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture. Let's say what he had to say.
Ross Gardner, president of the St. Lucia Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, is stressing the importance of enhancing collaboration between the government and the Chamber of Commerce. While praising the government for involving the Chamber in policy creation, Gardner raised concerns over the Chamber's exclusion from some key consultations and policy decisions that directly affect the business community. He stressed that for St. Lucia's economy to truly thrive, it is essential that business leaders are included in all stages of policy making to ensure effective and inclusive solutions.
This chamber has consistently sought and welcomed deep and meaningful dialogue with government and its many agencies. Here, I am not speaking in a perfunctory tick-the-box engagement, nor do I mean superficial consultation to satisfy public relations optics or donor conditionality. I am talking about partnership. I am talking about mutual respect. I am talking about inclusion with time to discuss, understand, research, verify, and comment objectively on any new policy, tax, or legislation likely to affect our businesses and ultimately the wider society of which we are a vital part.
Gardner continued to highlight the valuable role that the Chamber and its members can play in the decision-making processes that affect the private sector.
We have a treasury of enlightened and experienced members. We have human and physical capital at stake. We bring diversity to the discussion table. We offer alternative perspectives. Put plainly, we complete the economic picture in ways which government acting alone cannot conceivably know or predict. Moreover, we are deeply invested in the future of St. Lucia and must therefore contribute to shaping that future in which government has a fiscal and fiduciary role.
Earlier this year, the Livable Minimum Wage Bill was passed with the aim of promoting fairness and equality in the workplace by establishing a guaranteed baseline income for all workers. However, in his address, the Chamber President pointed out that the Chamber was not included in the discussion surrounding the bill's enactment, despite its direct impact on the business community and its members.
In stark contrast, all substantive discussion regarding the labor minimum wage order took place post facto. In effect, the private sector was only informed of the details of this major policy instrument after it had been publicly announced. At that point, there was very little scope for discussion, meaningful discussion. As such, any substantive improvement regarding structure, implementation, or administration was already precluded. While members readily embraced the need for a minimum wage, the lack of opportunity for constructive input during the formative stages of this order has led to unforeseen impacts that could have been easily anticipated, addressed, and mitigated in the best interest of all.
Gardner then put forward a proposal for more substantial collaboration between the public and private sectors.
For this reason, I am proposing an annual National Development Forum or Roundtable as a precursor to each and every national budget, so that the private sector and indeed other civil society actors need not feel excluded, restricted, undermined, sidelined, or selectively burdened with the cost of national development.
As the Chamber of Commerce celebrates 140 years, Gardner's call for greater collaboration serves as a reminder of the crucial role that open dialogue and joint efforts play in shaping the future of St. Lucia's economy.
Folks, I have no reason to believe that this gentleman would have said what he said there in the open, in the hearing of so many people. And for him to have been in any way economical with the truth. At the same time, I can't put my hand in fire that whatever he's said there is not touched up, is not cast in a manner that really does not speak to the, to the ground level realities of whatever interaction took place or ought to have taken place. I will only say that if what he's saying there is incontrovertible, is uncontestable truth, then it would be disturbing. Because I was under the impression that the Minimum Wage Commission, which was enacted into law, and before we go for the break, I think I really should read what the minimum wage legislation actually says. Let me see if I can get that here. In the revised laws of St. Lucia, section 69, establishment and composition of minimum and equal wages commission. There is hereby established a commission to be known as the Minimum and Equal Wages Commission. The commission shall comprise the following members appointed by cabinet. A chairperson who shall be nominated by the minister, and minister there has to be the Minister of Labor, Honorable Dr. Virginia Albert Poyot, and 6 other members as follows. 1 member nominated by the association that is most representative of employers. 1 member nominated by the association that is most representative of employers. 1 member nominated by the association that is most representative of labor. 1 representative of the National Insurance Corporation nominated by the board of the National Insurance Corporation, and 3 other members nominated by cabinet. The commission shall select a deputy chairperson and a secretary from among its members. Now, when it talks about those who are most representative of employers, maybe the default was St. Lucia Employers Federation, but there was the option of 3 other members nominated by cabinet, which could have been exercised to say, okay, let's bring in the Chamber of Commerce. I don't know. I'm just saying that I thought all of these things were down pat in terms of a commission that was representative of the stakeholders and interest and so on in those deliberations. I didn't think, and also if all at that time that the Chamber of Commerce felt it was underrepresented, it was unrepresented, it was slighted or whatever in all of this, I'm just wondering, was anything said before that? Was anything said? And if that is the case, will we later be hearing that there was not enough consultation in the implementation, some would say imposition, of the 2.5% health and security citizen security levy? Because there are a lot of people who are against the levy, even to the point where some people who are supposed to be collecting it as part of their transactions and the trade that they do and so on, are defiantly refusing to include it in billing and so on and to write it down because they don't agree with it. There'll be a day of reckoning, I suspect, for them. You don't play around with taxation like that. But not only that too, this reduction in VAT on certain items for a period of 2 years, construction materials and all of those things, cement and galvanized and plywood, etc. Are there those who will be not applying it as they ought to because they feel that they were not consulted and there was not, consultation? That labor code was dragged on for how long by an endless need for consultation. We did more consultation, and it just went on and on and on until some people took direct political action to intervene to defeat a government that said, look, we've had enough of this for long, let's go ahead with the labor code. You know the result of it. That played a big part in the 2006 election results. But I just want to say, the minister, Honorable Dr. Virginia Albert Poyot and others, need to listen to this, frame a response, and the response is not necessarily screaming at somebody across the public corridor and aisle. It's about taking some kind of action to see to it that whatever gaps, whatever deficiencies, whatever shortcomings that are being alleged in terms of the consultative process, that even after the fact, that it can be entertained, because amendments can always be made, tweakings can always be done. I think we need this kind of industrial and sectoral, meaning governmental and private sector, peace and harmony in the country. It can only bode well. This is the real issues. Let's take our final break, and when we come back, heading to the end of the program, more of your calls and messages.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you, at Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatments that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
You're listening to The Real Issues on this Thursday, the 5th of December, 2024. And it being Thursday, I think you can expect that tonight from 8:30 on NBC television, you'll be having Can I Help You with Richard Frederick and Albert Fregis. Yes, Richard will be back tonight, and I hear that he's chomping at the bit, raring to go. He's got things that he wants to talk about and to come out with. So he and Albert will be doing their thing on NBC television, also simulcasting on Real FM radio 91.3 and 91.5, and they also will be on their Facebook Live. Real let me just say that Can I Help You has its own Facebook Live page, as you know. We have a call on the line. Good afternoon, Real Issues.
Hello, good afternoon, Shelton.
How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. What's up?
I'm doing okay.
All right. Okay, myself. Okay, finally got the line. Yes. So many things going on, Shelton. I don't even know where to speak, where to start. But my query is that, Shelton, when the journalists are going to this press conference, how they call it, and these guys are saying this thing. Why they do not question them? That's my issue. They do not question them like they say they will give them $75,000. Ask them how they will raise these funds, how they will do this.
Well, I think you saw sometimes when journalists ask the questions, they try to humiliate them, embarrass them. Like you saw Janika Simon, I think, when she tried to ask a question. It was like he listened to her patiently and just turned to somebody else. Next question. It's like, who are you? You're not even there. You're good. Miguel Fevrier. It's about I do not talk to criminals and this and that.
I saw all the clips. I saw all the things. Yes. I think these guys think people are
to insult and denigrate, humiliate and embarrass is what they're trying.
The atrocities, all the things they did, and they think that Lucians are forgetting all what they did.
So when you see press conferences of ministers become places for Mepui and Powell GT, this is the devaluing. People, like I said, who do not understand the decorum of public office,
Yes. And my other issue is that most of the time when Guy and them holding the, whatever they call it, and these journalists, and I see, like, I'm watching news the evening, and a whole segment on the news is that, so I'm saying to myself, these folks are being paid or whatever to carry on. I've seen so many things that are of more significance are not being aired, and all what you could see is a whole section on guys saying this saying that, and that is blasted in our face every night, repeatedly. Honestly, that has sickened me, Sheldon, when I see this.
There is a lot of suspicion that a lot of what is passing for journalism and news and so on is pay for play,
I said the same
but
thing.
I don't know. I will not join. I have no proof of it and so on. And even if it is that, they probably will feel that I have no legitimacy to say that because I have never made any secret of where I stand or anything. What I can say is that news ought to be different from a talk show. Talk shows are opinionated things, and if they have been given the approval or permission to do it, talk show hosts are opinionated people. Whether opinionated, it doesn't have to be in politics. It can be in religion. It can be in a whole lot of different things that they can be opinionated. But a lot of people are of that opinion. Let me just say that sometimes, because of challenges that newsrooms have, they are very grateful for material that fills up the slot or the time of the news and so on. So you might find...
they want to fill that slot. If it's
it might be that.
So they put all this garbage. Everything.
There may be challenges in the background that news people have that we don't know about. So let us err on the side of being a little charitable and generous in how we assess.
Yes. And finally, Sheldon, when you think you've heard it all and you've seen it all, boom, alot bomb kakakapiti. Sheldon, that thing really continues. I'm from the south, and that's where every year, that's like the traditional, we go on the kakabef to get our receipts and stuff like that. And that thing has... I'm saying, my God, imagine if you had another 5 years, Sheldon, I say like China would be going and live on the sea. We would not have no land for us to live on. Yes. This is just insane, Sheldon. I honestly am lost for words. All the atrocities, all the things these guys did. And they want to repackage, like you said, rebrand and come back and do what? What are they coming back and do?
I honestly don't know. When you come and you change everything that people are doing, which is associated with their way of life, there is nothing with it. So if people have a little bit of artisanal boat racing, the Kuskanots, Gomye and so on, you come and you take it out and whatever, because it all seems to be ego-based and ego-centered. I want to show that I can do different and better than Kenny Anthony.
Well, you remember we misunderstood. He said he's going to build a brand new St. Lucia. That was his tagline, of course. Well, I guess, that's what he meant by destroying. Some people destroy and they think that they're actually doing something. Yes, it's sad, and I don't just get it, and people still support that. But anyways, that's another show.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Sheldon, have a good one.
There is a song, I think it's by a band called Tears for Fears or something like that. Everybody wants to rule the world. It's not so much. So many people come and they want to remake the world in their own image and likeness. They want to come and to redo things in a manner that reflects what they call their vision, And I wonder, why is your vision greater than that of everybody else? And even the Donald Trump is always that he's going to drain the swamp, that Washington, the capital, and the Congress and the governance of the United States needs a shake up, and he's the one to come and to change it. And look at all the problems he got himself into, but look at that, the people have decided to give him a second chance and and so on, and shaking up the government means challenging election results. If something has served the people for more than 200 years and so on, and they've been doing it, and it's kept their country alive and strong about making it great again, and the country has always been great from its very foundation and so on, you kind of ask yourself, what really is at stake? Is it that there is something wrong with humanity that the rest of humanity is oblivious to, that they cannot see, that they cannot perceive, that it takes this one soi-disant, self-described person who fancies themselves so visionary that they can see things that nobody else can see, and they have this vision to remake things and so on. And you're not somebody who even well connected to the country. You cannot even pronounce his name properly. You can't even say Saint Lucie. It's Salusi that you can say. And you have all these kinds of deficiencies in the individuals, but they fancy themselves as having some profound depth of insight about the construct of the society, that they can remake it, that they can rewire it, that they can remodel it and refurbish it and so on. When to me, for you to do something like that, you need to at least have a more credible, a more passable understanding of what it is that you want to so redesign about the society. We're still taking your calls, 487-9849, and we're going until 2 o'clock, not a minute beyond that. So this is the time to make your calls. So those of you who are still stuck on, the previous mobile number that we had, I suspect many of you who complain that you can't get through is because you're still trying the 724 number. The number is now 487-9849. And we got to watch out for those callers, because some people say they're calling and it's not getting. We have to keep our, really our attention on that call. We have someone on the line. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Sheldon. What's up?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. How about you?
What's crack-a-lacking, man? What's crack-a-lacking?
What's what?
What's crack-a-lacking?
Crack-a-lacking. Maybe crackers, I don't know. Bermuda's cricks, whatever it is.
Well, let me tell you something. You see, I reach a point where I'm not even surprised at what Alan Shastley has done anymore. I'm not even surprised. I'm not be surprised anymore. Because his modus operandi from the very beginning was to destroy St. Lucia. Everything about St. Lucia. Everything in St. Lucia. That was his modus operandi from day one. And don't be surprised. Remember all the hula about Maria Islet and the road building a road to Maria Islet and listening to Theo Akin for Theo Akin to do Papi Show?
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if you're surprised that this Maria Islet was listed too. Don't be surprised if you're surprised.
Yeah.
You understand? I'm telling you, because nothing is impossible for Alan Shastley, when it comes to just giving people things.
Yeah, he was going to allow a piece of the Pigeon Island to be excavated so he could build some dolphin thing there,
to complete his father's dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to top it all, everything is in Viewport. You're taking everything away from the Viewport people. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what would be his what would be the rational explanation.
There are two reasons. There are two reasons.
To the
people like that are always very land grabbing hungry. They always have that land grab hunger and greed about them. That's one. And the second one, that's probably more the father, But in the case of in the case of the son, it's an obsession with Kenny Anthony. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know what I brought that brought all about that thing with Rubis and Slasper and thing there. When Guy Joseph was a minister of government, you remember Guy Joseph wanted to get involved in the gas industry.
Okay,
if you go to how do you call it, Pharaoh there, he has a warehouse that was filled with orange gas tanks.
Okay.
And everything. You want to get involved in the gas industry, the gas thing on the airport.
Okay, I didn't know that. I know at one time he was leasing a gas station at the Galaxy.
Yeah. But this is why Rubis took Slasper to court,
Okay.
Because Slasper wanted to give Guy Joseph company some leeway into having some gas thing at the airport,
Okay.
That's why Rubis took Slasper to court,
Okay.
And Rubis won that injunction was, in fact, they filed an injunction against that. You understand? And up to this day, nobody knows what happened to the gas tanks that Guy Joseph and them had filled up in a warehouse down Pharaoh, called Isaac.
Okay.
You understand? So it was all in the pipeline to give Guy Joseph what he wanted, you know.
All right. Didn't know that, my friend. But let me tell you something. You see Guy Joseph? I don't really know him too well on a personal level. I only is the things that I hear and I pick up. But I'm going to say this. If the things I'm hearing about this man, which would suggest to me an absolutely astounding level of avarice and so on about him, if these things which I am hearing, this is a man who we can, without fail, expect is going to be absolutely and very disastrously consumed by his greed. If it's true, you know, honestly. Yeah, but go ahead, wrap up.
And the other thing too, when you see Alan Shaftney come out now to portray himself, he and his so-called, that's not the UWP. That's not the UWP. I know what kind of piece that, but that's not the UWP that I know. He comes out now to portray himself as a champion of the Malawi, the champion of the poor people of St. Lucia. Tell Shaftney, take a chill pill. Take a chill pill. Because he gives he doesn't care about nobody but himself. Understand?
Okay.
His main aim is to get back into office. That's just his main aim. And he's using those stupid minions out there who will come out. Imagine I'm hearing this guy who hosted Spiders like he did show on Monday. Going to talk about high prices in the market for poor people. High prices are everywhere all over the world. You understand? You making people believe as if St. Lucia alone that have high prices.
I mean, in fact, that is one of the reasons for the change of government in the United States. You know, I mean,
and I'm looking at that stupid boy on TV there, and the man making a fool of himself. You go to host a show, and that's all you have to come and say.
Look at right across in Martinique, Department of France, the kind of protests they have been having there over high prices. You know,
high prices.
I mean, that was a key factor in the United Kingdom. We've had two major changes of government in the most powerful countries. You know, America and Britain this year have changed government, and high prices and cost of living have been big factors in them and so on. You know, so I don't know.
And finally, I really got to understood as to the acrimony between Rick Wayne and Kenyon Tony with his utterances last night on the BBC.
What did he say?
I listened to it, and it's like on one hand praising, on one hand criticizing, on one hand denigrating, on one hand doing all kind of things. It's like you're just up and about the place about Kenyon Tony. Like his fetish is just not going away with Kenyon Tony. You understand? Up to this time, you try to say, oh, only Kenny knows what's going on. Only Kenny can fix everything. He knows what he knows. Kenny knows what he knows, and Kenny can't speak to him. Blah 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 blah.
Kenny what? Say speak slowly for me. He knows what he knows. Kenny came to his home. No, hold on, no. You're going too fast. You're going too fast for me. Yeah. Okay, what he said, Kenny Anthony knows his home, and Kenny Anthony never come to speak to him. What? Say it again.
No, he said Kenny Anthony knows everything that's going on in politics and everything about it. Kenny knows everything, and he himself, Rick Wayne, knows everything. So it's only Kenny Anthony that can fix things now. And the only way that can be
so what he's saying, he wants Kenny Anthony to become prime minister again?
Well, not so many words, but that's where it was going.
All right, okay.
We'll see. Yeah, that's where it was going.
Yeah, there's some people. I personally, I'll hear you, but I won't add anything to it, because the less said about it and about them, the better. Thank you.
I listened to him, and now I realize what the vested interest was all about. Thank you.
Okay, my friend. Thank you very much.
All right, cool.
Let's try to take a couple more calls. 487-9849. That is the number you can WhatsApp call us on, and you can also call us on 4533-911. We have a caller on the line. Good afternoon. Real Issues.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Daniel.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. When you have a former politician from the former administration that attempted to borrow money, $160 million, for a private company from offshore banks in the name of the government of St. Lucia and bypassed the parliament, better known as the Pajor letter. It says a lot about that individual. And today that individual have no shame to question Philip JP's handling of the country's finances. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that's a very good point. I mean, this thing makes you absolutely dizzy, Pajoa, Permandu, vaccines, Diamol, Lockerbie, this, I mean, Ernst & Young, it just goes on and on and on and on and on like that, of people who come. And we talk about shame. I don't know why shame we keep talking about. It's unconscionable. Like, there's absolutely no conscience, no remorse, no compunction about plundering the treasury of a country that you yourself said is piss poor and it is broke and crying all these kind of things and doing that. But you can play the way fast and loose and with the money of the people. It's the money of the people, but you have to close down Radio St. Lucia. You can't do this, you can't do that. Anything that is for the beneficial interest or welfare of the ordinary poor. And we have to say, black people of the country, it was too much for you, but you could be dishing out their money, go low, wiping out a potential 24 million, obligation by a hotel enterprise, private one, and so on, to say there's nothing to pay and so on, and to just, wow. We have another call on the line. Good afternoon, Real Issues.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you doing?
Just one question. Could you tell me who the consultants are on the Millennium Highway?
Who are the consultants where?
On the Millennium Highway.
As far as I know, the consultant is a local engineer. It's a local engineering firm. It's FDL.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I wanted to know.
Okay.
That's it for now.
All right. Thank you very much. I don't know what he was aiming at. Good afternoon to you. Someone who says, before laws are passed, bills are circulated for comment, in most cases for exactly what he proposes. After the Minimum Wage Commission report was submitted to Cabinet, it was circulated for comment. All right. Yeah. Thank you very much for that point. We have a caller on the line. Hello, caller. Good afternoon. Real Issues.
Hi, Shelton. Good afternoon.
How you do?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm okay, man.
Shelton, is there a difference between the Chamber of Commerce and the St. Lucia Employers Federation?
It's supposed to be.
Or are there persons who are members of the Chamber of Commerce as well as the St. Lucia Employers
I'm sure there are many
Federation?
people with dual membership. I'm sure there are people with multiple membership, just like you find people who are members of more than one trade union, I'm sure.
Shelton, first of all, I find it hard to believe that even if, notwithstanding there was a representative of the St. Lucia Employers Federation, I find it hard to believe that that panel, that committee, that commission wouldn't have invited comments, wouldn't have invited input from all relevant stakeholders. I find it exceedingly hard to believe that that committee or that commission would not have done something like that. However, having said that, Shelton, look, I am old enough to remember that several years ago, something like that, a minimum wage, again, a Labour Party government tried to get a minimum wage going, and that was defeated by business people saying now is not the time for that. And that was defeated. Shelton, the other thing is the tripartite. Remember those tripartite hearings and so on, and government and private sector try to get that going with the trade unions. The trade unions finally abandoned that. Why? Because the other two bodies, especially the business people, wanted to have things their way in terms of trying to stymie wage increases.
Consultation was simply a euphemism for delaying tactics.
Exactly.
More consultation, exactly. And all the while they're working on their pool bar politics to defeat the government. Now we are 3.5 years, into the term of the government.
Yes.
People are beginning to take up their positions in their respective foxholes and bunkers and booms and trenches, whatever. so that they can begin to take aim at the next elections, how they will be able to sway the way they want it to go. You're going to find a lot of things being said now, and you're going to find a lot of things that seem to be disparate, but they're not disparate at all. They're very coordinated.
Yeah, and look, Shelton, like you mentioned, we still have a very vivid memory of what happened during the labor code negotiations.
Of course.
The labor code consultations. We still have a vivid memory of what happened back then. Somebody he felt he had a lot of sway and influence over Kenny. And he said so later, He told me in a phone call that he said to Kenny, leave this labor code thing alone. Kenny, leave this alone. This is not the time to go. But Kenny wouldn't listen. You understand? Kenny wouldn't listen. So this individual pivoted and took another tack. And what he did was that he joined hands with Booth Stewart. You understand? To strike at the Labour Party. And when Kenny thought that he had his support because he was chairman of whatever this, the guy was working to destabilize and throw down the Labour Party, he and Booth Stewart and so on. And later on, he told me that after Labour came back, that the problem with Kenny is he does not listen. And Kenny Anthony went on the market and said, I heard him saying, I don't listen. I listened to him for 9 years, and what did it do for me? You understand? Where did it lead to and so on? And this is the kind of thing that's going on there. T-boy me do kisa pou fè me pale ba ou, the T-boy who say T-boy me politics. If you will not be my T-boy in politics, I'm going to insert my own T-boy, my biological T-boy, you understand? Into the politics so that he will do my bidding. The son was sent to do his father's bidding. Correct.
Yes.
But Shelton, I know
we are 2 o'clock already, so the lotto might cut in at any time. Yeah.
No, it has already cut in. But the thing is, let me just tell you quickly, Shelton. Maybe you can mention that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Shelton, listen. $1,130, and employers are complaining, talking about non-consultation businesses. Are talking about this is creating hardship for them, and I have to deal with that in a Facebook piece. But Shelton, listen. Consider a decent house. We're talking about rent. Shelton, a decent house, 1 bedroom with toilet and bath. Shelton costs over $500 a month if one can get it.
If you're lucky.
Shelton, food costs an arm and a leg, and we're talking about groceries, an arm and a leg, and people are talking eating healthy. Eating healthy is a very expensive proposition.
Of course, yes.
You understand? And we're not even talking transportation and health and that kind of stuff. Just rent, and between rent and food, we're already talking something like $900 to $1,000. So what are people talking about in terms of a minimum wage of $1,130? Shelton, we'll talk more about that.
Okay, buddy. Thanks a lot. All right, we're over the 2 o'clock. Another message says, just indicate to me, Jaquan, if we have to cut it off. The Riot Act was read to Bradley, ship up or ship out, so he must start operating in consonance with his colleagues. And another person says, Kenny committed a cardinal sin by sacking Rick from the Senate. Others who don't think so, they think that there are other things that were at work. I don't really know. Shelton, the lease between Slasper and Rubis was signed in 2015 and was amended in 2017. I signed that lease, and the orange tanks belonged to Delta Petroleum. Okay? All right, so the individual, says he was actually part of those negotiations and signed that lease. Good. We'll leave it at that for the time being, folks. Thank you very much, Jaquan, for another great job with the controls and the calls. Thank you, everyone, for being part of The Real Issues. Don't forget, as I said, tonight, 8:30 on NBC Television, Real FM Radio, Facebook Live. Can I Help You with Richard Frederick and Albert Freitas? Tomorrow, our final program for the week. Till then, Shelton Daniel signing out.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate.